Hi, my friends. Welcome to Lesson 6, Melody. It says there, basic intonation, that's the melody of our speech, final voiced consonants at the ends of words, and friends, and some other consonants. Actually, this is Melody Part 1. Part 2 will be next week. It will add some more variation and more interesting expressive movements and MT4s to the course. But this is sort of the basic stuff this week. I think you'll find this one quite useful. As usual, have a little song at the beginning. This one, there's a link there. You can see there's a live link to me, a Vimeo recording of me singing the song. And just go, some of the language that's used there is a little strange, but you get the idea of what the song is about. And so you can see there that underneath each line, there's lines going up, down, sideways, and up and down, and down and up. And those basically are the symbols that we use for the MT4s in this lesson. So it goes, how I miss your intonation. You are super segmental to me. I rise, I fall, I rise, fall, I fall, rise. Mostly I just feel flat. You have an affect on me, but don't worry about that. Anyway, that song is kind of fun with a harmonica. And you sing along. You can use that as your warm-up. If you don't use that as your warm-up, I have another of these warm-ups that have a lot of nasal. You remember before, I think it was in lesson 3, you know, yin, yang, yun, all this, try to really focus your voice to narrow it, to get it really pointed by using a nasal. Same thing we have here. This is A-E-I-O-U. The same thing with that. It's the ein, on, yun, n. So you do it going up. A, ein, in, ein, on, un. Ein, in, ein, on, un. Ein, ein, on, un. And you got a flat one. Ein, ein, on, un. And down and up. Ein, on, un. Then we got one that's 2 lines down, which means you go down as far as possible. Ein, ein, on, un, un, or even lower than that. Again, I've got a little allergy here in Chattanooga. Sorry about that. You'll hear that once in a while. And the last one is when you go up as high as possible. And there'll be one of the conversations or something you like that in there. That would be something. Ein, in, ein, on, un. Get up there and try to really get as much nasal as you can in there. But something like that. Just that alone, if you just do that one slowly and carefully, maybe a different pitch, tremendous warm-up. And in fact, my voice feels much better already because I just did that. Objectives, as usual, better melody and expressiveness. Actually, we'll do more of expressiveness next week. This week is more melody. Next week is more expressiveness. Practice and remember vocabulary better and conversations better. And the reason for that is that by being kind of tuned in and kind of getting your body to feel the melody helps you remember what was said and what the words were and so on. Understand the feeling of what you have heard better, particularly if you begin to listen to, like on TV or whatever, and you begin to kind of listen for the MT4s, the 7 MT4s that we'll be using in this module. And here they are. There's rise, fall, flat, fall, rise, fall, 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 and then rise, rise. So those are the 7 kind of basic components of melody. And in the embodied or reading, we'll kind of bring those together as we have before. Also, I should have added to the objectives here something on word final consonants. And I'll show you kind of what that is in a moment, how that works and what the MT4s are for basically words like a D and G and B at the end of a word. Again, some languages don't have those. Instead they have P and P and K instead of just that. So maybe your language does. So here are a little bit more here, the MT4s, the intonation MT4s. I've already talked about them a little bit. Let me just demonstrate them so you can do them with me, and we'll kind of just get a quick training on them. First one is flat. This one, again, I'm just about Texas here, right? Okay, your hand comes back, you touch on the stressed word here, like we have on some of the other MT4s. So something like fascinating. Fascinating. See, my voice, first time I didn't quite get it. Fascinating, like you're thinking, something like that. Next one's a falling tone, just a basic statement. That's really fascinating. That's really fascinating. Your hand comes across like this, fascinating. Touches here, fascinating. So it's really two touches, fascinating. Even with the flat, it's fascinating, 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 fascinating. So all of these MT4s involve two touches, one strong, and the other one very, very light. Rising tone, same idea. That would be something like, is that fascinating to you? So you're coming across, but is that fascinating to you? Is that fascinating? Fatting. Is that fascinating? So you can kind of feel it. It's kind of fascinating. Fall, rise, same idea. This one, you instead of sliding, you push down. Oh, excuse me, rise, fall. Rise, fall. Goes up first, right? Okay. So the rise, fall that we have here is, wow, how fascinating. So it's, wow. Wow, like it's just like you're jumping over a fence or something. So it's wow. Your hand goes like this. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, it goes up and down. Wow, wow, like that. Wow. That's fascinating to you. Is that fascinating to you? And I often tell students that's every teacher's favorite MT4. How interesting. Come and see us. Open your books. See you tomorrow. Right. Sure, you've had a teacher that's all they use, just too much enthusiasm, right? Then we've got a fall rise, which is the opposite. Go down. This one, you touch your palm and push down and come up. So, what's this one? Yeah. You're from Canada. You're from Canada. A. So, A. You're from Canada. So it's Canada. You're from Canada, eh? Again, it's a question, but one that adds a little more interest or sometimes more doubt, something like that. Then fall, usually at the end of a sentence, and you can, like, for example, you can say that again. You hear my hands hit my quads. You can say that again. So your voice drops as low as possible, okay? You can say that. Start here. You can say that again. And then the other one is that rise, which is a little, again, kind of too much excitement. That one, you ate how many hamburgers? You ate how many hamburgers? Way up. Normally the rise, you ate how many hamburgers? You ate how many hamburgers? So you basically take it up again, the same amount of space. You ate how many hamburgers? Almost up to so that the tip of your fingers are up the top of your head, like that. But again, that's again kind of expressing maybe a lot of excitement, something like that. But here is the, as usual, here is the MT4 training. Excuse me, I need to get a drink here. And I'd recommend you practice these yourself. I'll do them really quickly with you. I'll do them just to kind of demonstrate them with you. The idea of nice, that's nice, very nice, that's very nice, that's very nice. So again, starting at your shoulder, you can see how it's lining up here. That's very nice. Same thing, then the next one's a fall. So it's easy, that's easy, very easy, That's very easy. Now, when you practice these, just really a little slower than I'm doing it, but just with really good nasal, rich voice quality. Very important. And do the same thing with beautiful. So beautiful, that's beautiful, very beautiful, that's very beautiful. You know, you feel it there. If you do that one, uh, really with some energy, you kind of feel your body kind of comes up with it. I was just noticing when my shoulders come up a bit when I did that one. That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Fascinating is rise, fall. That's fascinating. So be fascinating. That's fascinating. See my hand turning down here? That's fascinating. That's very fascinating. Really fast, very fascinating. And then the last one is fall rise. As I said, this fall rise is the meaning there is more of a question or maybe doubt or something like that. So cool. That's cool. So that's out here, right? That's cool. Very cool. That's very cool. But I was really doubting it. That's very cool. Okay. All right. So there's the basic MT4s. And like I said, next week we'll have more. We'll add to that just to give you a good set of tools so you can really repeat or kind of create any kind of feeling and conversation that you want. That's the idea there. Okay, here's the MT4. Let me, the MT4s in action. The embodied oral reading. This is a fun one. Remember, the idea here is, remember the braces from last week? Those braces mean that rhythm group is the loudest, the main one in this conversational turn. So as usual, let's go through that one together. I will do it 2 times. I'll do it once, and you do it the second time with me. Turn this down a bit. So remember how we do this? We do the MT4s first. So we've got a rise, fall, 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 rise. In fact, I would even say those. What I just did, do that way yourself. Just say it out loud. Okay, so afternoon. What can I do for you, Bob? Do that. Then do it again a little bit faster. Afternoon. What can I do for you, Bob? Looks like the salesperson knows Bob. Bob's a friend. Here's Bob. Bob's kind of excited. He needs some new running shoes. So rise, fall. Need some new running shoes. Need some new running shoes. Now this is a long group. This first one there. This next one in 2A is you've come at a good time today. So fall, rise, fall. You've come at a good time today. Sails on. You've come at a good time today. Sails on. That's a long group. You've come at a good time today. You've come at a good time. So start moving on you. You've come at a good time today. Sails on. Then 2A, the second line, rise, fall here, or fall, rise, excuse me. So fall, rise. What kind of exercise do you do? What kind of exercise do you do? Then Bob, which turns B for Bob. He does this is a flat and then a fall. I've just started to jog recently. See how much faster I did that one? So I just started to jog recently. So once you practice this, some of these MT4s come pretty fast, kind of movement that you need to do with them. Okay, next one is we got a fall and a rise, fall. So, okay, what are your goals? Let's see, what does Bob say? Lose some pounds. So rise and fall. Lose some pounds and get in shape. Good idea, Bob. 4A, so we got rise, fall, rise, and rise. All right, sit down, please. Size. All right, sit down, please. Size. Get it so you can do it about that speed. And then 4B, so Bob's thinking here, says maybe a 12.5. So fall and fall. Maybe a 12.5. You better check. maybe 12 and a half. You better check. 5A. Let's see. So flat and fall. Let's see. Better try a 12. Okay, let's see. Better try a 12. Then B, Bob's talking again. These feel good. So we got flat and flat. These feel good. Same brand. Then the next line is fall and rise fall. As the winner of the marathons in the Olympics. So let's do B, line 1 and line 2. These feel good. Same brand as the winner of the marathon in the Olympics. Good work, Bill. All right. 6A. Now we got a fall, a fall, and a fall. They're good, huh? Okay. These do fit you well. Walk around, jog. That jog could have been jogged, could have been, right? But these do feel good. These do fit you well. Walk around, jog. And the last one, everybody's favorite, MT4, 3 rise falls. These, I look good, fast. I'll take these. I look good, fast. I'll take these. So, pretty easy MT4s. So practice that one so you can do them at conversational speed. Okay. And again, as you do them, we're going to be adding some things to it as we go, but that's your basic practice for this week. So you even say it with more energy or less energy, or lots of ways to do that one. Okay, now voiced final consonants. I'm going to do a little bit with this one because the reason I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it is that some of you may have difficulty with word final consonants. For example, if your native language is Spanish, a number of Russian, a number of languages, at the end of a word, instead of having a strong D, B, or G sound, or J or Z sound, those, you have instead a T, a P, a K, and a sh sound, or a S sound, right? You don't even have those other 5 consonants at the end of a word. So if that's a problem for you, or maybe even saying the important names for you, I can help you with that. But I'm not going to go through it in this one. I'm not going to train you in it. But if you come Wednesday night, I'll be happy to work with you. Or if you're working with me privately, we'll do this one if this is an issue for you. Anyway, in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. But also, wait a minute, hope we're still recording here. I lost my internet connection for a minute there. Okay, so we've got N. A few people have trouble with N. We've got L. Yeah, a number of languages have R and L issues. NG. We've got R. Yeah, a lot of languages don't have the same R we do, or maybe a problem for you, maybe not. S and Z and SH and ZH. So those are there. And if you've noticed that, that's the same pattern as when we did TH sound back in lesson 3. And again, on Wednesday or in private lessons, if those are a problem for you, I'll be happy to go over them with you and give you some more exercises to follow up after that. Okay? So what I'm going to do right now, just before I finish, I'm going to go back to the MT4 and show you how this final voice consonant thing works. The idea is, at the end of a word, if you have a B, or a D, a B, a G, a Z, or a Z, those voice ones, what you do is you put your fingertips together right here in front of your heart, right? And you push about 3 inches off to the side as you say it. For example, the first one there is, got the word bib, B-I-B, right? So to make that sound, instead of trying to say bib, which a lot of people do, what you do is you push to your left as you say the word, and you make the vowel longer. And instead of doing a B at the end, you do a very light P with no air, like this. So, so bib, bib. So no air is coming out of my mouth on that P at the end. Bib. But the most important thing is the vowel. I'm lengthening the vowel. And normally, anybody who speaks English will hear that as a D. If there's no air on it, they're going to hear it as a B, not a P. That's basically the idea, with a longer, slightly longer vowel. So that's the trick. So let's go back to the MT4 for a couple of minutes. I'll just pick, there's several words here in the MT4 that have final voiced consonants. So let's see, in line 1A, we've got Bob. Okay, so hands here. So Bob, Bob. Can you hear that? That? Bob. It kind of sounds like if you put your finger in a bottle and pop it. It's kind of that sound. So Bob. Next one, we got need. So need. I'm saying neat, N-E-E-T, right? I'm saying neat, but I'm lengthening the vowel. Need, need. So, oh, here's shoes. Got a Z on the end. So shoes, shoes. I'm saying an S, a very light S there, but you hear it because of the vowel, your brain thinks it's a Z instead. So 2A, what do we got here? You've, there's a V there. So you've, I'm saying a youth. You. Does that sound like a V? It does, doesn't it? Yeah, yes. Great trick. You've come to the right. Good, there's good. J, and here's 2A. Kind. I'm saying kind. Your exercise. Is it exercise? Okay, B, I just started. Well, start is a bit different. That's a TD. So because you got a TD there, it comes out of the T. So started. It's not started. It's started. That happens naturally anyway. Then jog, instead of a j, jog. I'm saying k, be jog. 3A, what do we got here? Goals. 3B, lose, another Z, good one. Lose. Some pounds, there's pounds. So z, it's z. Instead of z, I'm going to say z. Pounds. Isn't that cool? And the T, I'm saying ant. And get in shape. 4A, what do we got here? Down, please, in size. So please, size. No air coming out on that final sound. And maybe 12 or 12 with a V on the end. 12 and a half. You'd better check. You'd. Saying a really light T there. You'd. Now let's see. Better try. There's 12 again. 12. These. Feel good. All right. Brand. I'm saying brand. That sound like a D? It really does, doesn't it? Well, it is. That's what how the brain processes things. Actually, it looks more for the vowel length than it does for the aspiration on the end. Here we get as, winners, marathons. So as, winners of marathons, the Olympics. Those, 6A, those do fit you well. Walk around. There's jog. Let's see, last one, we got good, and these, and we got it. So good, and these. So if that's a problem for you, even in some words or names of things that you have difficulty with, there's your answer on how to practice it, and how to put it into your word list. And like I've said before, work on it 4 or 5 days a week for a couple of weeks. And in conversation, you'll hear yourself pronouncing it better. I was going to say correctly. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, that's the trick for people who have some real issues with those final voice consonants. And also, just in general. If you don't, even working on those as I just did helps you with making your speech more complete. For example, I have a problem sometimes with speaking too rapidly, so the ends of my words don't come out, particularly if I'm speaking with someone who's not a native speaker and having difficulty understanding me. But even by doing that exercise, working on those final voice consonants, it makes my speech, even as a native speaker, a bit more precise and a more better, easier to understand. Let's put it that way. All right, so there you are. Again, you could try these. If one of these you have a difficulty with one of those, try. I think you can probably do it yourself. Just follow the directions, and they're great for any of those. Once you've kind of worked through the protocol, at least we call it there, and practice it again on your word list, expanding words that have that sound in them for yourself. In a couple of weeks, you can fix it generally. It goes. Okay, well, there we are, as usual, wracton@gmail.com. Feel free to connect with me, even if you have questions or even comments about the course, anything like that. And for those of you who will be here Wednesday, I will see you Wednesday. And for those of you who are working with me privately, do your homework, and I will see you at the time when you and I get together. So, be good, and have a good week, please.